Okay, I just picked up the soil, well, some of the soil that will go into the 2 raised beds. I believe I have, let's see, 12 bags of garden soil. I'm going to lighten it up with amendments, compost, things like that. It's cheaper than the raised bed soil. And then what I'll do is I'll put our own homemade compost. And then I also got some Espoma's Land and Sea compost because I had pretty good luck with it last year. So I'm going to try it again this year and just get started with it. I thought I'd start with 20 bags instead of a ton. I think it was $134, which I didn't think was too bad. So considering I'm hoping they go the whole way. Next, I'll be picking up a bale of straw or 2. It'll be a mess in the truck, but gotta do it. Okay, as you saw, I put down a layer of straw, a bale in each one. And again, these are 8 feet by just over 3 foot beds. So there's a lot of square footage in here to fill. So that's a really inexpensive way. I wet it down really good, and now I'm putting another layer of, basically, it's our compost pile. And it's in different stages. I just threw a bunch of new leaves on it, which is good because you want different size particles. That allows for moisture and air to kind of get around in there and then help with the decomposition of all this organic matter. This will go really fast, so the bed's going to sink the first time pretty hard, but this is the least expensive. But each year, like this year, I barely have to put anything except for just new compost at the very top of each one of the copper beds because the hard decomposition has stopped. So this is hard work for one person to fill up 2 beds. So I've been at this a couple hours now, so I'm going to take a little break and then I'll get back to work. Okay, so far I've moved about 1,800 pounds of soil for these 2 beds. And yesterday I added topsoil in here because my pile in the back is getting really low and it's starting to get hard to dig. I'm gonna have to bring out the front, but you see it was all the way up to here when I started, and now getting low. And this was a combination of compost and soils and old potting soil and everything. Everything goes into this bin. Leaves. So it just looks like soil now because it's been sitting here. Particularly at the bottom, it's been sitting here at least 3 years now. So I haven't gotten to that yet, and I might be saving it for my front bed that I'm putting in the courtyard. Okay, so obviously we're on the next day, and I guess this is my 3rd day filling them. I've been doing it all myself, all the hauling. So like I said, we're up to about 1,800 pounds of dirt, soil, compost, manure, and obviously was not able to find a peat soil, which I would have loved to, but it's just not economical. It would cost me hundreds, and I'm trying to keep it down below 100 per bin. It looks like it's going to be in the neighborhood of, I was trying to keep it under 100, so it looks like it's going to be in the neighborhood of 120 each, because I'm going to need, probably for this top, at least to spend $30 to $40 on a potting soil of some type to keep it light. You can see it is really light and fluffy right now, but this garden soil has a tendency to kind of clamp down. That's why you don't use it in pots. But there is peat in here that's keeping it light. There'll be a ton of compost. I have bags of cow manure, I have land and sea, and it's going to be a mixture, and I am probably going to get some mushroom compost also. So we have all three. So that's how I'm going to do the top 6 inches. That will be all of your more nutritious stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to get going again. It's taken me longer than it would have last year, so I just got to get used to that. I'm not as fast as I used to be, so anyway, we'll get back to work on. Okay, so this is the combination. We're gonna put land and sea, Espelma's garden soil, black cow, my own compost, which I don't have over here yet. I'll be shoving that into the wheelbarrow last, and that will be kind of going up on the top 1 inch, 2 inches of soil. And I will be acquiring some mushroom compost, which I don't have today, and you probably won't see on video, to also add to this. It's more economical than black cow or land and sea. So to keep it under that price I wanted to keep it under, that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so as you see, on either end of the bed, I'm going to do those 3 bags. I'm going to mix it all in like you just saw together. And then I'm going to take a rake and spread it out. I'm also going to add perlite to it. I don't have vermiculite right now, but I would probably add some vermiculite if I had it. And then I'm, depending on how much garden tone or plant tone I have, I will add that also, but right at the top, right before planting. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be adding, organic perlite, and this will keep the soil light and airy. So I'm going to do the rest off camera. Same thing I did there is going to be the rest of it. We'll see what the height is. It's going to rain tonight, and then I'll see if I need to add more or not. So I won't bore you with putting on camera, and then at the end we'll show you. And we got the arbors that are going to go across, so that's going to be, we're getting close to the fun part. This is the part that's tedious and a lot of work, but now working in that soil, I'm pretty excited about it. It's looking really good, and so close to planting, so I'm glad. Okay, so as soon as they're done, I'll show you them. Okay, the boxes are mostly filled, and I've gotten one of the trellises together, and I thought I would record myself doing the second one so that you can see it going together. This is the size of the box each one comes in. They are not in a billion pieces, which is nice. It is the Jardin Rose Arch. And this was ordered from Gardener Supply. This is what you get in the box when you open it up. Okay, so here are the pieces for the Jardin Rose Arch. You get 2 cattle fencing posts that will be the legs of this trellis. You get 2 archway braces, basically, that will form the top that goes over top of this piece up there, and then you get 3 arms that will go across the top that will hold the top arch. And then you get 4 of these stakes that just slip in and the legs slide onto. There are no bolts, no anything else. There's no hardware at all. So it goes together easy, but unfortunately it breaks easily. Okay, so this is my quick review of the Jardin Rose Arch from Gardener Supply. Well, I'll give it 1 star. It showed up on time. One of them was packed well. The other one, I'm assuming someone had returned it because it was not packed like the first one, but packed well enough. So I'll give it 1 star for that, and for just showing up. It's here. What else? I'll give it a star for its looks. It's exactly like it looked online and exactly what I wanted looks wise. So yeah, I would say it's a 2-star product. This is really cheap. Both of them are already broken. This is the lowest gauge probably cattle fencing you could possibly get. I don't know, there were good reviews of this, and that's why I bought it if other people got a heavier gauge wire here, but it's really cheap and it's just popping apart. So be careful when you slip it in. You see how easy this went together. It just kind of goes under 2 clips, but if you push it too far, it just fits in there. It gets stuck, so you can't really bang on it with a mallet because it's gonna break it. So tiny little taps. You saw I only did 2 and I didn't do any over here. It went in, but I'll give you a close-up now that it's up of both of them and show you they're both broken, but they go up easy. So if you want no hardware, no. Would I buy it again? If it was $75, yes. $200, this is not a $200 product. This is a $75 product. Something you want easy. It's going to blow with the wind. because the stakes just slide in. There's no pilot holes, so we're gonna have to get a metal bit. What I'm probably gonna do is put straps on the actual pole here between the actual little framing it does have on it to the wood, because this wood will hold it. And I'll put 2 straps on each leg, so I'm gonna need a total of 8 straps. But that's the only thing I can think of to do. I didn't want that look. I didn't want the look of the straps, and I can't get them lower because it has to be on the framing. So that's the only thing I can think of to actually hold this in place, because the winds we get here are, you know, I mean, it's the Jersey Shore. So yeah. So for $200, no, I would not buy this again. But I do like the look of it, and I'm kind of stuck with them. They're awfully big. They're not something you just kind of return. I have to get growing at this point, so I'm kind of feeling a little bit defeated. This is taken so much longer than I expected, and I'm probably 2 months behind where I really start planting my greens and everything. But the irrigation and this took time. So yeah, but anyway, so that's my quick review. I guess make your own decision, but I'll show you some of the things on it. All the irrigation is done. I have put under here, in here between the 2 boxes, there is a line coming in here, and then it tees. I have a T in there. Then there's an elbow on each side that elbows up and comes up into the bed, just like this elbow, except in reverse. And then I put just a plain 1/2-inch line all the way down the side of each bed, and this will be tapped into with 1/4-inch line, and when I determine where the rows are going to go. So the 1/4-inch smaller line will go out on each row. So that's how the irrigation is going to be done in here. I'm not going to swirl it around at this point. I'm going to have it dedicated in rows on both sides and try to be a little bit more orderly this year for planting. The soil level still is going to come up. We had rain last night. I'm trying to get this to kind of settle down as much as it's going to settle immediately with water and soil. But I'm going to come in here now with the top 2 inches of potting soil in there, so that everything really stays loose. You see, I put a lot of perlite in there because I was using a lot of garden soil. It's just cheaper, especially if you want your bed to be organic as possible. It's cheaper to get, and then you have to add either coco coir or peat moss or something to lighten it up and fluff that soil up. And now once I put in the potting soil, it will probably have some fertilizer in it, and then I forgot, last year I switched all of my vegetables over to tomato tone. So I will put tomato tone in here
and that will be it for fertilization. Okay, the beds are completely finished. So this is good. The trellises stood up overnight, so at least they're standing, and the legs of the beds are done. I just finished that up, cut everything up. I just got to clean up all the sawdust and all that, but I'm really thrilled that this is done, and we can start the next phase, which is planting. So anybody who's thinking about building these, the one thing I would do different the next time is on the four corners, I would extend the bracing board up to the top. I had to put a block in there and to fill the space, because I really didn't have a plan for how I was going to finish the ends yet. So I'm not a planner, so I just kind of go by the seat of my pants, but you should kind of plan. Then I wouldn't have had to do that. It wasn't a big deal. I just cut out the block, and then I'll take some plastic here and staple it on and overlap it there. So yeah, so that's it. So all I did was measured a piece from the bottom up and overlap them. I didn't miter them because miters on these beds tend to bulge. So I just overlapped them and kept the front. And then I do have a raw piece here, but because they were an odd sizing, I really couldn't find anything that was going to fit that width. So I had to make it. You could go around if you want and put quarter round. They make this composite quarter round, and you could put a piece of quarter round if it bothers you. It doesn't bother me at all. It practically looks finished. You could use a little silicone to fill in those little gaps, because you're not going to be perfectly square. So you can go around with silicone if you want to fill the gaps and make it look just a bit cleaner, but generally they look pretty good, I think. So that's how I decided to do the corners. Probably the corners took me maybe 3 hours to do them. This is the mess I made. There's a lot of scraps. But the exciting thing is, here are all the veggies and some plants and flowers, and Jenny in there for the boxes. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, so I'm excited that part 2 is finished. The projects are, the hard projects are all done. Now we can get to the fun part, and part 3 will be planting these beds, and we'll go through kind of the plants I'm going to be putting in them. I'm thinking to put about on this side, maybe doing some cut flowers and some vegetables, an intermix, I think, of both in there. And I already have a tomato plant that's ready to go. I think this is Red Profusion. That might go in a pot. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I haven't really planned everything out yet. So I hope you join me for the third part. And yeah. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.